Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to today's episode of True Potential's Morning Markets. I'm Matt Henderson and I'm one of the portfolio managers here at True Potential. Now, if we cast our mind back to last week, from Friday, we have retail sales to cover from both the UK and in China. So if I start with the UK retail sales, those numbers were disappointing for the market relative to consensus, but also last month's reading, so came in weaker than expected. Looking at the underlying numbers, the weakness was broad throughout all categories within the basket, and this has been attributed to the high inflation and cost of living crisis that we're currently going through in the UK and also within Europe. However, as an investment team, what we find quite interesting is the comparison to the Chinese retail sales data. As we've mentioned in previous videos and in our podcast series, the inflationary pressures facing the Chinese economy are very much different to what we face in developed markets, where inflation pressures aren't as high and the government is trying to combat the growth problems that they're having from their zero COVID approach. So what we've seen in China is actually retail sales strong relative to last month and also expectations. What's been driving some of that is some of that stimulus that the government have been able to use. So things like subsidiaries that they've applied to electric vehicles, boosting those retail sales higher. Now, looking forward to this week, it's a big one for market participants. We have 3 out of the 4 major developed market central banks announcing their latest steps on monetary policy. So if we start in order of those announcements, it will be the US kicking off first with the Federal Reserve on Wednesday night. Information coming through to UK markets on Thursday morning with their latest interest rate decision. Now, if we look at market pricing, so essentially what market participants are forecasting for the Federal Reserve to do, they're currently thinking that the US Federal Reserve will increase interest rates by 75 basis points, but they've also left the door open to a small probability of them doing 100 basis points. Now, what market participants will also be interested in is the latest round of the summary of economic projections that the US Federal Reserve will be releasing at this meeting. Essentially, what's included in that document is their latest forecasts on growth, inflation, and also their estimate of where interest rates will get to in the future. So those can be just as important, if not more important, for the market in terms of getting a handle on where future policy is going to go in the US. Next, we have the Bank of Japan releasing on Thursday morning. Currently, market expectations are for zero change to policy, given the low current and also historic inflation rates that have been witnessed within Japan. And finally, the last major central bank to announce their decision will be closer to home, with the UK's Bank of England going on Thursday afternoon. Now, currently markets are similar to what's happening in the US, pricing in 75 basis points as their base case, but also leaving the door open to Bank of England potentially increasing rates by 100 basis points. So those announcements and decisions and market reactions will be covered later on this week in following episodes of Morning Markets. So please join us later on in the week to get our thoughts on that. Thank you for watching.
If you're interested in taking your investing to the next level, or would like to know more about the options available to you when you retire, then download our free guides to ISAs and pensions. These are available in the video description below.